Hello, it's PJ Brunet, and today we'll be talking about the meditation content engine. This is a new idea that I came up with a couple of nights ago, and it was so unique and interesting, I thought that it deserved its own video. And so the next morning I started to outline just a basic, what is the meditation content engine, and I tried recording a video about it. And what happened was I realized that I had more talking points than I could fit in one video, so I decided to split it up into 3 parts. And then what happened was I realized that the whole concept needed an introduction, because just explaining what the meditation content engine is doesn't really explain why you need it or where it came from. So there is a lot to explain, but I'll try to make this brief. I follow different trends online, and one of the trends that I've noticed is that meditation is becoming more popular, and I think it's interesting because it's all about using your mind and thinking about things, which applies to all areas of your life and all areas of your work. So this is not just a silly enterprise to start thinking about what you're thinking about, because it affects your business absolutely. So that was sort of the first realization that I had, and I really took note when I saw one of the top performing information products on a popular marketplace was a meditation product. So then I started thinking, you know what? Let's do a little more research into this. So the more I started looking around, and I saw some very successful people in this industry, and what they were doing seemed like it was fun and interesting. So I started exploring it more, and my first, at first I was going in through a visualization phase where I came up with a visualization called the Ultimate Learning Experience. And that turned out to be pretty complicated. I came up with an outline. I spent about 3 days working on that in my own mind, and then I wrote it all down. And then I came up with a product called Money from Meditations, which is more about just creating a business out of what I had learned from the Ultimate Learning Experience. And then what happened was I made a roadmap, and I had a lot of diagrams explaining how to make money from meditations, and I still have those diagrams. But my phone got erased about a week ago. So and right after I started building out the roadmap, I realized that this is a lot of work, and I had some pretty cool looking diagrams, and I was making progress, but then for some reason it became overwhelming because of the amount of components and just how structured it was. So then a few days passed, and then I had this realization that I could do this without being structured at all. So I went from being very structured to very unstructured, and that I will get more into that whole duality in the 3 videos that I've made that explain the meditation content engine. And I think of this content engine as your flux capacitor that's powering your meditation content. And that's sort of a fancy way of thinking about it, but really it's sort of like a framework or a system that will help you produce content day after day, and not get too bogged down in details, um, boring details. I think so. My content engine is, I think it's exciting in that it's, I think it's motivating for both the audience and for yourself, assuming that you want to create meditation content. Of course, the engine doesn't just apply to meditation content. You could apply it to anything. But I think it's kind of fun how I'm making this sort of in I'm making this product in the meditation industry, and I'm taking the meditation industry in a completely different direction that no one's ever seen before. I haven't seen anything like this out there, so this is completely new. And like I said, this is an introduction to the meditation content engine. You'll get, depending on how you came across this information, there's 3 other videos that I'll be producing on the 3 different components of the meditation content engine. And um, so this was a realization. The main idea behind the engine was just a realization that there's one core thing, I think, that drives the creation of the content and the interest in this content. And one of the, without giving away the whole thing, this is content that never gets old. So it's about releasing the latest ideas. And everyone's on a journey learning from their mistakes and strategizing. But specifically with meditation and business and speaking, it's an ongoing process. It's an ongoing learning process. And so that's how I've been thinking about this as a framework. And then I came up with this whole content engine concept. So let's just talk about the 3 points that I listed here on this mind map. Keep you and your subscribers interested and involved in a creation process that shows real results, building excitement. So this goes back to the idea of one of my successful blogs where you're looking at the stats and you see, there's a penny coming in, and then there's a nickel and a dime and a quarter, and then it just builds from there, and every day, hopefully, you're seeing progress. So, and part of what drives people to do that, just to wait that long to build that progress, is they see other people doing it. They see other people that are successful, and they think, if that person can do it, I can do it too. So I think that's a big part of the content engine, and I'll be getting more into that. Okay, and keeping your subscribers interested. Now, most people, there's a lot of people out there right now building information products, and this is a really popular thing right now because it works, and I think because people maybe don't want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for a college degree when they can go online and spend less money and learn a lot more information. And also, I think people are just hungry for more information because I think there was some research that found that just makes us feel good. When we're learning new things and being stimulated with new ideas, it just makes us happy. And there's I don't remember the exact scientific article, but it is definitely something that people enjoy learning. And so there's a lot of people building products, and that's what I was starting to do with the meditation product. But then, as I know from internet marketing, the experience that I have in that industry, I have over 30 years of experience with technology and um, building online interfaces in communities and things like this. So I'm well aware that the subscription model is much more profitable. And why charge a one-time $50 uh, fee for some product? So the subscription model, the lifetime value of your customer goes up because the person is paying you month after month. However, you have to be creating new content for them in order for them to want to stay subscribed. And I was actually listening to a podcast a few days ago about a woman that charges, I think she charges, it was over $200. I think maybe it was $200 a month. Yeah, she charges like $199 a month for her subscription service. And then she has an introductory offer of the first month is $99. And I wasn't thinking of charging that much at first. In any case, so you need to keep people interested in your content, otherwise they won't stay subscribers. And you need to be providing value and ongoing value. And so it just came to me how you can do this. And this is something I've been thinking about for a while, but it really solidified for me a few days ago when I just started thinking about this more. So let's see. Let's move on to the next point. Confidence and direction for knowing what to talk about. To craft and refine your own content machine mindset. So confidence is something that a lot of people struggle with, and personally, I don't. This may sound conceited, but I don't really feel like I have trouble with confidence. But it does. If you do have a plan for how you're going to create your content, if you have that long-term plan in place, it is liberating and it does create a little extra confidence knowing that you have a system, and so you'll never really run out of ideas because you'll always be able to create new and interesting content using this content engine. And direction, I included that word because I was just reading about advisors last night, and one of sort of the definition of an advisor is someone that has a lot of experience and they're not telling you what to do, but they're giving you some direction. And so there is this balance between telling people what to do and giving them guidance and direction. And, that's up to you to decide, but I'm leaning more towards telling people what to do because I know from my own experience when I see products and they're really informative and they tell you all these great techniques and all these great tools and they tell you pretty much exactly what to do, but when it comes down to what market should you pick and what should you make your product about, you're on your own. And so they give you these ideas, but they don't exactly tell you what to do. And and part of that is nobody wants to buy a product that tells you how to make a product. That's exactly like what you just bought. So, however, um, I I want to focus this down enough that of course, you can apply my techniques to any industry, to any business, but I thought it would be interesting to stick with the meditation industry because to me it seems like a great opportunity, especially with all of the people interested in yoga now. And it just seems like it's a trend, and I think it's a good trend. You know, anytime people are thinking, using their mind to, contemplate what's going on in their life, their business, I think that's important. So it's a good thing. Let's see. And crafting and refining your process, the content machine mindset. I kind of like how that sounds. I don't want you to think of yourself as a machine, but to some degree, you have to be methodical and think of this as a business. Otherwise, unless you're independently wealthy, you really need to create a system and make this a business. So the third step, or the third part of this introduction, is the drive concept. And I already talked about subscription content that you can repeat over and over again. And this, it's not about repeating exactly the same thing every week, but I'll get more into how the system is somewhat repetitive in the 3 following videos. But I think the drive and the engine, I think that kind of goes together. What's driving you to create more content? And if you're not interested in this information that you're putting out there, then other people won't be interested either. So you have to be excited about creating this content, and I think this content engine really does that for me. And of course, you will want to modify your own engine, and you might take the time to write down, how can I improve this engine? Should I take things out? Should I add some things? And so it's not set in stone. It's just sort of a rough draft for me. I just came up with this one morning after I had the initial idea, and I wrote it down. And part of my process now is to write things down the night before or in the morning, and then record them when I get in the car to start my day. And then I have a whole system where I record the videos. I combine the audio with the text, and then you get a video like what you're listening to right now, and so I'll get more into that whole process. So that's the basic introduction. If you have any questions, just follow the instructions that come with this video. There might be a chat room, or there might be other ways to get in touch with me. All right, thanks for listening.